After a soggy day yesterday, at least to start, the sun is out here at Citizens Bank Park as the Phillies will play 2 games today. It's a day-night doubleheader against the San Diego Padres. Weekends with Schmidt, presented by Acme Markets. It's NBC Sports Philadelphia, the home of the authentic fan. All right, so the Phillies are involved right now in a winning streak that's 5 games where they're hitting just .209, but they're scoring 5 runs per game. Part of that is because they're walking an awful lot. They also have 4 home runs during the 5-game winning streak. And the bullpen, well, we'll talk about that in a moment. The bullpen has been excellent. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with John Kruk. He's going to talk about the bullpen and Mike Schmidt. And obviously the Phillies really turned some heads this year in first place in the National League East, Michael. And there's a number of reasons why. The pitching's been really good. The walks have been really good for the offense, but they've also played really well here at home.
Yes, they have, Tommy. Good to be back with you guys. A lot of good stuff happened while I was gone. Good old home cooking, the white uniforms. You got to win at home if you're going to be a great ball club. What is it about the home field advantage? Well, in baseball, I think being the home team is probably the sport that has the biggest advantage. Obviously, here on the screen, you see the team's record, 31-16. Notice that the ERA is a lot less than the runs scored per game, so that means you're going to win some. If you're at home, you know the nuances of the ballpark. You know, like when the ball rolls down the third base line, does it roll foul or does it stay fair? You know, you're getting home cooking, the crowd, especially here in Philadelphia, the crowd is fun to play against. I think they intimidate the umpires every now and then. And lastly, you can't run out the clock in baseball, right? You have to get them out. You can't freeze the ball and run out the clock. So having the last at-bats affects the way the game decisions go on, and it's a wonderful thing to play baseball at home. We're 31-16. If we keep up what we are going through right now, we'll be in the playoffs.
And 21-run victories so far for the Phillies, too, so that also helps from a home standpoint. All right, and what also has helped the Phillies, this bullpen is really, even with the injuries, has pitched pretty well.
Yeah, and the great thing is you don't know when you're going to be seeing these guys. They can come in at any time. I mean, the other day, Tommy Hunter was warming up in the 4th inning, but the 4th inning is when Austin Davis came in on Friday night and shut down a little bit of run by the San Diego Padres. Arano came in, got into a little bit of trouble, but he gets a big strikeout there. Will Myers, Tommy Hunter, pretty much put nothing on the board with a couple strikeouts. Look at this nasty curveball right there to get a strikeout. Neshek, again, he worked into trouble, worked out of trouble, getting a strikeout there, and then this ground out. Great play by Maikel Franco. And then Adam Morgan comes in and just shuts it down in the 9th inning to preserve a win. Sir Anthony was warming up. The Phillies gave some insurance run the bottom of the 8th. Sir Anthony sets down. Adam Morgan comes in, closes the door. This bullpen has been so much better the last month of the season. Look what they've done since June 30th. 2.16 ERA, opponents hitting under 200. Those numbers are going to play, and like Mike said, the home field advantage, take care of home. But if the bullpen continues like it is, definitely a postseason team, and a postseason team that can do some damage when they get there.
And the Phillies feel like they're going to get even better later on today. There's a chance Luis Garcia will be activated at some point for maybe Game 2 against the San Diego Padres. But first, we have game number 1. It's Nick Pivetta on the hill for the Phils, Tyson Ross for the Padres. When we return, we'll get to lineups and first pitch. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider according to speedtest.net. By Toyota, the Toyota Camry, Highlander, and RAV4 have something for everybody. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. Cloud cover now as we get set for the first pitch. The sun was out earlier, as we mentioned, before the start of today's ball game. It's the first of two. It's a day-night doubleheader. The Phillies have played a lot of traditional doubleheaders recently, but they got a day-nighter here today as Nick Pivetta will finally take the mound in preparation for today's start. That's a cool-looking shot right there as Pivetta arrives on the hill. Lineup cards have already been exchanged at home plate. Let's take a look at the Padres lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. Travis Jankowski leads it off in center field. Carlos Azuaje bats second at second base, and then you spin all the way down to Christian Villanueva in the number 7 spot. He leads the team in home runs and RBIs. His defense has gotten better too. And they will face Pivetta, who, John, probably is well rested here in the month of July. He's only thrown 10 1/3 innings in the month of July.
Yeah, he hasn't gone deep into games, and with this long extended All-Star break of an extra day, 4 days rest, and then the rain out yesterday. I mean, he should be rested, Tom.
Opposition at a 2.63 against him, an ERA of 4.58. And there you see the July numbers, 2-0, a 3.48 ERA. The keys today are going to be the curve and the slider, and that usually is the case with Pivetta, who has got a great fastball. But this is a Padres team that struggles somewhat against the curve and the slider. So if he can get that over for strikes, and the same with Velasquez tonight, the Phillies should be in pretty good shape against the Padres offense. The lowest team ERAs in the National League, and where they sit in their division, the Phillies are on that list. They're number 6, and of course sitting atop the National League East, a half game ahead of the Atlanta Braves.
So what you're trying to say with that graphic right there is, if you pitch well, you got a chance.
You got a chance. There's always a chance.
Well, it's hard to pitch well and not, be in the postseason and pitch that well right there. In fact, all those teams right there are postseason contenders. Not a stat that we've been used to over the last couple of years.
Nope.
Boy.
Bullpen's getting better.
Yep.
Nick's going to go 7.
Nice. First pitch is outside of Jankowski, and we're underway. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
So you got it up to 7, right? And
I got 7.
An old friend of yours in the office earlier today had it at 6.
There's a floater out to left, and Rhys Hoskins will put it away.
There, 2 pitches. Easy.
1 out here in the first, and Azuaje is coming up. Azuaje was 1 for 4 with a double and an RBI in the first game of this series. It was a crazy start to that game. The Padres scoring 4 runs in the first inning. But the Phillies, after 1 in the first, scored 6 in the second. One ball and no strikes to Azuaje as the 25-year-old Nick Pivetta out of Victoria, British Columbia, is looking for his 7th win of the year. A bit high, 2-0.
Decent turnout today here at the park, considering the rain out last night, the change of starting time.
Yep. Yeah, the crowds are expected to be pretty good these 2 games. That one's hooked to right field. That'll be in for a base hit. And it'll go to the scoreboard as Azuaje runs well, so he's going to get to second base. That's his 2nd double of this series.
Boy, they had him played way around the left. Opposite field hitter. He just hooked some off-speed pitch down the line there. That was kind of a weird swing and a weird hit ball.
Yeah, didn't he have a couple hits? He had 2 or 3 on Friday, didn't he? All 3 of them were pulled.
Yeah, he hit the ball. He pulled the ball, but he had just the 1 double on Friday.
Watch.
Yeah, I mean, that,
Can't see the right fielder in the picture.
No.
Of course, it would have been a double any way you play him.
Here's Will Myers, and Myers fouls the first pitch off the mask of Knapp. Major seems okay. He'll catch game 1. Alfaro catches game 2.
What Will Myers hitting when he got Alfaro the Friday night with a good one?
Oh, with the foul ball? Yeah, I don't remember if it was him or not. He might have been. Off the glove of Knapp. 1 ball and 1 strike. Zwahe did jump a little bit off second base, but stays there. First 2 innings of games have been part of the issue for Nick this year. He's allowed 22 earned runs in the first 2 innings of games so far in 2018.
Am I missing something here? There's a great little slider on the outside corner right there, but those numbers are low for Will Myers, are they not? Or
they are, but he's also been banged up.
Has he?
Yeah. He's been on the DL. Jankowski was on the DL. That one's popped up behind second. Cesar is under it. That was a good pitch. A 94 mile an hour fastball.
Yeah, with their series before the break, he hit 6 home runs in what, 4 games in Arizona?
Yeah, including 3 in 1.
3 in 1 game. Six home runs in a series.
You got to admire a guy with no batting gloves on, John.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. Hosmer hit a couple balls hard Friday night.
Hit that 1-line drive at second base. That was the hardest hit ball in the first part of that game.
Double play. We turn them.
Slider in there, and it's 0-1. Hosmer 245 with 10 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Boy, he blew a 97 mile an hour fastball right by him there. I don't know if he was expected something else or not. Over to the hole, and that's a base hit to left field. Rounding third, slipping a little bit, is Zwahe, but he'll score. It'll be an RBI single for Hosmer, and it's 1-0 Padres.
Wow, that was an unusual area for him to hit a ball at in that count. We're going to see this pitch over. Yeah, I'll tell you, Johnny, he got a little top hand on that ball. Got his bat up high and tried to pull it down on the ground and got it right between them. That's good hitting right there.
That's a real good hit. And then, you know, you've talked about this at length. That's the only way you can hit a high fastball. You got to hit it with your top hand.
Totally different swing than the pitch before it, where he swung really hard up underneath the ball.
Yeah, the dirt blocked by Knapp, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Hunter Renfroe, who has 7 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
You got to watch Hosmer too. He's sneaky. He'll try to take one. Not with that lead.
Over to third, past Franco and down the left field line. Hosmer will get over to third base. It's booted by Reese, but it doesn't do any more damage. And now second and third. Second double of the inning for the Padres. And here's Freddie Galvis. With Freddie coming up, it's time for our Nissan upgrade. Upgrade to the technology of tomorrow today. The longest active streak of consecutive games played. Freddie's at 263.
It's pretty impressive right there.
Cesar's on that list as well. So is Carlos Santana. Freddie was asked the other day about taking a day off. He said, do you think that it will help you if you do? And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. He said, well, it does help the body. He said, but I feel like I do more on the field then on the bench. So it's important for me to be out there all the time. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Had 3 hits on Friday's ball game.
The day off, taking a day off thing's funny. Sometimes I don't understand why people even bring that up. Oh, he looks tired, or oh, he needs a day off. I mean, only if you look mentally weary, or you just kind of don't look like you're into it, or you're in a really bad slump, and just a different look at the game might change the way you're going. But I found I'd be in a game anyway every time I took a day off.
Right. Back toward the middle and into center field, a base hit. 1 run is in. Rounding third, heading for him is Renfro. The throw to the plate. He is safe at home plate. Freddie Galvis on his way to second base with that throw. That was a nice throw by Odubel.
It was a little bit of a short hop. Andrew made a nice play on that ball. He must think he might have gotten him because he's already singled to the dugout to check the replay. How about Freddie? A little bit of a backdoor slider there, or breaking ball of some sort that just kind of, here it is right here. This is a good play by Odubel. I was wondering actually why he was throwing it home. Great play by Knapp.
Boy, that's really close.
And he gave him room to slide.
Yeah, they're going to take a look at it.
I hope they have a better angle on that one, because that was, couldn't tell if when he touched him.
Right. Yeah, if he got him on the back or on the back of the shoulder or what before his foot hit the plate.
Pavetta was going right along, and then at bat almost getting out of that inning. And then he hangs it. Watch it. Well, this is the play at the plate again. But
did he have it in his glove controlled too? Is the other thing. Not that the umpire was looking at that.
Funny thing about that home plate slide is your foot always seems to raise up a little bit, you know,
yeah,
when it goes over home plate. But nice hitting by Galvis. Ground ball up the middle, 2 RBIs possibly.
I don't know if there's anything there that shows that he got him before he hit the plate. Well, maybe there, but it's still hard.
And it doesn't look like Knapp had control of the ball. It looks like it was rolling around between his glove and
You're right. It looked like Knapp had the ball like against the heel of his glove. And almost in his bare hand. Yeah.
Well, the Phillies got the Padres right where they want them. They scored 4 runs in the first inning the other night. Now they have 3 here in the first inning. Freddie Galvis with 4 hits in this series.
He's talking to his old buddy Michael Franco.
All right, so the save call is made. Jansen Visconti is the home plate umpire. Call stands, so nothing clear to overturn it.
So there was no error on Hoskins, correct?
No. No, I think they were thinking double all the way for Renfro. So it's 3-0 San Diego here in the first.
Got him right where we want him.
Yep. And Villanueva takes a curveball high. It's 1-0. Well, 25 earned runs now allowed by Nick in the first 2 innings of games this year.
Yeah, this is amazing. He was at 11 pitches to Hosmer with a 0-2 count. Hosmer fights that ball off in the hole. Now we're looking at 23, 4, 5 pitches in the inning.
Nick averages just under 18 pitches per inning, which is 7th most in Major League Baseball. Curveball, and that's out of play, and it's 1-2. So another 2-strike count. So Hosmer's base hit with 2 strikes gives the Padres the first run, but then leads to some more pitches. Down the right field line foul. That pitch was up just a little bit. And it remains 1-2.
Going away, but good-looking hitter. 19 home runs, leads the team. With 43 RBIs, leads the team. Hitting 7th in the batting order. See, he can get on top of that high pitch.
Matchup must not work well for him. For Andy Green, that got to hit him leading homer. I'll tell you what, this is a tough first inning.
Started this game too early.
Yeah.
It's a bad location here so far with Nick's breaking ball.
And a foul tip. Nap hangs on, and the inning is over. First strikeout for Pivetta. Padres, though, scored 3 runs. The last 2 on the base hit by Freddie Galvis. We'll head to the bottom of the first. The first inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. Well, after Cesar, it's Rhys Hoskins and then Odubel Herrera. Carlos Santana hits 4th, Nick Williams 5th. Maikel Franco, well, you know what he's done during the month of July. He's been the Phillies' best hitter average-wise, and he is batting 6th in today's ball game. They'll face Tyson Ross. This guy's had a rough go of it lately. The veteran right-hander, 5-8 with an ERA of 4.32. Johnny's always had a good slider, but teams seem to be laying off his slider recently.
Yeah, that's the key too. You see his average fastball velocity. So you 91. At this day and age, that's not a hard thrower anymore. But it makes it easier with velocity down to be able to lay off that slider.
Pitch low, and it's 2-1.
Well, we've seen all 3 of them so far: slider, fastball, and turnover.
There's the first. There's another slider. So now it's 3-1. So his July numbers: 3 starts, 13 to the third, 17 earned runs. His 11.48 ERA is the highest ERA among starting pitchers in the month of July, with at least 2 starts under their belt. He has 3. And the 3-2 to Cesar. And a strike 3 called. Got him with the slider.
He has that baby working. That was nasty right there.
Sure was.
Yeah, what are you going to do about that? The 3-1 pitch was probably a little up and in, ball 4, but then it got called. And he drops a nasty pitch on Cesar. Leadoff hitter. 3-2 count, slider. Going away on the black.
How do you think Bo would have reacted to that, coming back to the dugout after seeing a 3-2 slider leading off the game?
He just said, "Who's hitting behind me?" Jeez. Can't even get a fastball 3-2.
Challenge somebody.
Reese fouls off the first pitch. It's 0-1. Reese is 0 for his last 8. He was 0 for 3 in game 1. He had a couple walks, though, and an RBI. Another one fouled off, and it's 0-2.
See, I like when Reese is fouling the ball off that way, not topping the ball foul toward the third base coach. Means he's staying in the hitting zone longer. See what I mean?
That one's out to right field. Going back on it is Renfroe. It is gone! Into the waiting hands of the young man in the first row. And the Phillies are on the board. It's Hoskins' first home run here in the month of July. It's a 3-1 ball game.
John, I don't know whether that was kind of like pre-game planning, sort of like his the plan they might have talked about against this pitcher. But fouling the ball off to the right side twice and then home run to the opposite field, that looked like something that might have been thought out before the game.
And it could have been one of those, we know he has a great slider, so we have to think the other way with the slider, and they got the slider, and he stayed the other way. But like you said, his whole game plan, this whole at bat, was to hit it the other way. Now, are they going to review
How about
this?
that,
Yeah,
man?
they might review it.
And this is not a challenge. This is ask the umpire.
Yeah. See, he's leaning there. It would be a crew chief review. Jeff Kellogg is the crew chief. Now they have to decide whether the angle where he caught it would mean, would be enough to lead into the stands, or if it would have been in play.
That poor fan could go from a hero to a non-hero.
Yeah, they
real fast. I don't want to change anything other from a home run to a double.
We'll see. Look down the line.
That is real close.
I think it's going over the fence. I still do. It's close though. See where his glove is?
Yeah,
see,
sure do.
I think it's going over the fence. But what do you think, John?
Well, I don't know. I saw was Renfroe's, what he did after that. And he pointed straight up like, take a look at this thing.
Well, he wouldn't have caught it.
No. Well, better have a heck of a vertical, and he's playing the wrong sport.
Now he's getting his cell phone out.
Here we go. They're going to call it a home run. So they felt the
that
angle
helps
enough.
everybody. Poor kid. Now he's.
Hey, if they call that a double, though, he gets kicked out of the. Does he get
he gets moved over.
Moved over or something? That's unbelievable. Heck of a play, though.
15th home run for Hoskins. 58 runs batted in. We mentioned it's his first home run in July. Last one was the 29th of June. Of course, he did have all those home runs in the home run derby. They just didn't count. Odubel 278 with 16 home runs. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it off his back leg. 0-1.
Speaking of home field advantage, not a lot of ballparks where that would have been a home run.
Yeah, with many of them, it would have hit the scoreboard. Let's say in Washington, might have been caught in Miami. That's pretty deep out there.
Petco would have probably been to the warning track, wouldn't it?
It might have been. They moved it in a little bit. That one's pulled towards second base as Wahe's up with it. And there are 2 outs. Carlos Santana coming up, and he provides us with our Geico quote of the day on the Phillies missing out on Machado. Machado's a great player, but we believe in what we have here. We have a great talent. I know we have a lot of younger players, and I know sometimes people don't feel good about Philadelphia, but we believe. When he talks about Philadelphia, he means the team. 0-1 to Santana. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think that was a well put comment. You might have chosen a different word there at the end, but what you say is pretty obvious. But they do believe. They do believe. We got to, we have to not forget that Gabe Kapler deserves a lot of credit for the place that this team is in right now.
No question. Inside and low.
And also, too, they played the Braves so many times. They played the Nationals so many times in the first half of the season, and they understand that, we're as good or better than both those teams. And that, you don't know that until you play them and you compete against them enough times. But I mean, we played the Braves how many games already? 12?
We only have 2 series left against them.
So 12, right?
The last 3 games of the year for sure.
Phillies are half game up over the Braves, who are 53 and 42. Their game will get underway shortly in D.C. They're not playing a doubleheader today. They have to play the Nationals in that makeup from yesterday a little later on this year. So Santana's at first with his 75th walk of the year. Nick Williams is now the hitter. And he takes low and in, 1-0. One ball, one strike. Nick was 1 for 3 with a run scored in game 1 of this series.
And it was an interesting run scored. He stumbled all the way from about 5 steps after he touched third all the way home and kind of did a belly flop into home with no throw.
They throw behind Santana, and it's off the glove of Hosmer. Three balls, one strike. Michael Franco is on deck.
Tie this baby up, Nick.
So back-to-back walks, and now Franco is coming up. Ross is in his second tour of duty with the Padres. Darren Balsley was his pitching coach the first time, and he heads out to the mound. We mentioned his struggles in the month of July. He's tied for 5th in runs allowed in Major League Baseball in July. Lester has allowed the most with 19. And he's allowed 17. They thought they had something back with him the first couple months of the season, but this has been a little bit of a rough start or rough patch for him. Those are his career numbers. Most of those games have come with the Padres. Franco 269.
Didn't they get him from Washington?
No, his brother Joe went to Washington.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be a really good pitcher, but he just can't stay healthy. Franco pulls off on the slider, and it's 0-1. Tapper left to the mound. Galvis charges, sweeps it, and has it, and throws out Franco. And the inning is over. 6-3 of the putout. The Phillies do get a run back on the home run by Rhys Hoskins. Went the opposite way. First home run here in the month of July. As we go to the second, it's the Padres 3 and the Phillies 1. We'll be back right after this. Tickets are still available for all 3 games, including Wednesday's Business Person Special. You can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. We begin the 2nd inning with the Padres up 3-1. Austin Hedges.
This is where we shine, Tom, that 2nd inning.
Both defensively and offensively.
I hope.
On the outside corner, 1-2.
Just a quick inning.
Arrieta on Friday night had a 1-2-3 2nd inning.
And that's when the onslaught started.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Hedges. Outside, 2-2.
Remember that in that game Friday, I was watching 1st and 2nd, Arrieta hitting, and we were talking about a bunt to bunt or not to bunt, and he swung away and grounded to second base.
Fly ball to right.
And we're thinking, well, why wouldn't he bunt there? Why wouldn't he bunt there, advance those 2 runners? Kind of like a Kapler decision to swing away right there. And this is where Gabe has said a lot of his hunches play well for the Phillies this year. He grounds to second, he beats the double play ball out, and then we get, what, 5 after that?
Yeah, everything opened up.
Right. Cesar followed with a
walk.
You know,
that loaded the bases. And then
but
Hoskins
the line drive
walked.
that the center fielder hurt his wrist on, wasn't that in there somewhere?
That was in the. That was later on.
Yeah, that was like the 8th inning.
Yeah,
7th
the 8th
or 8th
inning.
inning.
But anyway, that opened up, kind of opened up the gates for us, our comeback.
Ross takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, there was an out, but in Gabe's thoughts, Arrieta swings the bat well. Don't just give a free out. I don't know if that's definitively why he decided to do it, but it certainly worked.
In another Arrieta game earlier in the year, in fact, I was here doing the game with you guys. Remember when he pulled Arrieta in like the 4th, and he had that kind of tantrum in the dugout, and the gate. We got several runs in that inning right after that decision.
And a strike 3 called. 2nd strikeout for Pivetta. You already enjoyed NBC Sports Philadelphia's presentation of World Champions, the story of the 08 Phils. Well, now relive even more memories with 3 of the team's key players. Chase Utley, Jimmy Rollins, and Shane Victorino as they sit down with our own Jim Salisbury. And find Jim's At the Yard podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Frankowski fly to left his first time. He bunts to the right of the mound. Pivetta is an excellent athlete and is able to field that ball easily. 1-3 on the putout. It's a 10-pitch 2nd inning. We'll move on to the bottom of the 2nd. It's the Padres 3 and the Phillies 1.
Kind of an up and down season for him, but he has been able to get deeper into games than he has been in the past. 13 of his 19 starts for the Padres have gone 6 innings or more this season, which is saying something nowadays. Part of the reason, his ability to get the first batter of the inning out. If you take a look at what he's been able to do, last year it was just 56%. This year, 73%. That's second best in the National League in getting the first batter retired in an inning. And as you guys know, get that first guy out, it just feels like the inning's a little bit easier going forward. So he's done a good job with that. He was able to do that by getting Cesar Hernandez to strike out in inning number 1 here today, and that's one of the things that he's been able to do pretty consistently this year. And well, Phils are going to have to be patient with him and hopefully get on base early in the inning, score some runs, guys.
Scott Kingery has the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, Ross early on, I thought if he was on a different team would have been a heck of an addition for that team when his fastball was in the mid-90s and slider was so good. I'm not saying that he can't now. He's only 31 years old. It'll be Kingery, Pivetta, and then Andrew Knapp. Pitchers batting 8th today for the Phils. Inside, 3-1.
I think that's the difference. You know, when you get a slider like his, you get a lot of chases, but when your velocity goes down 5 miles an hour, you know, you can wait a little longer and recognize the slider possibly a little longer than before. You don't have to start as early.
Yeah, that seems to be the MO recently for teams against Ross, is that they are patient and they're able to get the fastball because they just spit on the slider. Now, he got Cesar 3-2 with the slider his first time up. Let's see what he does with Kingery here. There it is. Second strikeout.
Good call. Big difference than when we played. Unless the game was on the line or something. Here it is right here. Fastball count. Pew. Nasty little downer. I guess slider. Yeah. Remind you of Hellickson at all? Kind of like a Hellickson. Got the whole repertoire out there, anything at any time.
Yeah, pitch wise or number of pitches that he throws, yeah. I mean,
works a little faster.
Works way faster. Swing at this. Back-to-back strikeouts. 2 outs here in the second.
Tom, our second inning ain't looking good.
It's not looking like the other night. But, John, remember.
It's early.
In that second inning the other night, there were a couple outs after Arrieta reached on the fielder's choice. Then the scoring start. Andrew Knapp hitting .240 on the year. He had a base hit in Friday's game as a pinch hitter.
In that inning, if I'm not mistaken.
In the 8th inning, yeah.
Was that the 8th?
Mm-hmm. He helped the add-ons. Ground ball. That's why has it. His jump throw is offline. And Andrews aboard with a 2-out single.
There you go, Johnny. Good start.
Let's see if Cesar can keep it moving here in the second. Cesar went down looking on that 3-2 pitch his first time up. And a looper out to center field. That's going to drop in for a hit. Napa put the brakes on as Jankowski's throw comes back in. And now first and second with 2 outs, and Hoskins is due up again.
I think Andrew's getting the hang of this base running thing. Ooh, that nice turn. Knew he was going back.
Well, Hoskins' first time up provided us with our giant home run replay.
Slider low and away. Ball goes out that way just as easy it does the other way. Rhys Hoskins, and that's your giant home run replay.
I think I'd be looking in first pitch right here.
This could have the makings of a big Hoskins game.
Oh, he throws the slider away.
You know, Mike picked it up, and we see it up here. It looked like he had his mind set to hold it back to go the other way, and he's throwing something away. Wouldn't you think you'd try to jam him here?
I think those pitchers get a little more respect for a hitter than they had coming into the game if they hit a home run off of him the first time up.
Especially off his best pitch.
Yeah.
Outside again, 3-0.
There's your respect. 2-0 slider in the dirt.
Seriously.
But it just doesn't come out as smooth as if you're confident against a guy. Got to turn him loose here, right, guys?
I would think so.
Is he throwing him a fastball?
Well, that's the thing. I can't imagine he'd throw him a fastball here. He did. 3-1.
All you need to do is just poke it out of the park, John.
Yeah, he was trying to hit that one. You don't get bonus points for hitting it over the batter's eye out there.
Well, you did in the home run derby.
Well, you get 30 more seconds.
Yeah.
Lord knows we need that, Tom.
And a liner out to left field, and it's going to be right at Myers. And the inning is over. So the Phils get a couple base runners, do not score. They've left 4 through the first 2. We'll head to the third. It's still 3-1. Padres up. Section for all the information. Please submit your answer, guys, on the subject line. The question is, what team did Matt Stairs play the most major league games with? What team did Matty play the most major league games with? Answer will be revealed a little later on. It's not the Padres. He did play for the Padres. In fact, he played for a lot of teams. As Wahe will lead it off. He doubled and scored his first time up. A swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. A double was his 7th of the year. Two balls, one strike.
It's a big inning for Nick right here in the third. These are the hitters that did all the damage against him.
It was a bit high, I guess. It's 3-1. Pavetta wondered where it was. Fly ball right field. Williams going back, and it is. Oh, it was interfered with by a fan.
Definitely.
So they're going to give us Wahe, I believe, a double.
And now this fan's going to get cheered. Oh, geez.
Mark McGuire's on the phone to make sure that wasn't a home run, or did not have the same angle as Hoskins, which was a home run. This one looked pretty clear.
Yeah, that's definitely a reach over.
You know, it's very hard when you're a fan out there not to be anxious to get your hands on those balls, isn't it?
I would agree with it. I would agree.
You had a chance, right, with a glove, but you weren't.
I didn't reach.
I know.
I reached.
But when that baby
forward.
was coming, you were excited, right?
I was. I thought it was cool, but I knew that where I was sitting, it was not going to do anything but be a home run. But I do agree. I think sometimes it's hard to avoid the temptation of trying to make the catch.
Especially if you have a glove.
Yeah. Myers went around.
Freddie Freeman. He's getting his glove on. He throws it back. I don't know if you watched that all the way into your glove or not.
I don't know. I was pretty close to watching it all the way in. Swing and a miss. There's a strikeout of Myers. Third strikeout.
Did you see that glove? Like 152 years old.
I have others, but that's always been my favorite one.
Nothing better than an old piece of leather.
Yeah, I was 14, I think, when I bought it.
Look at that baby. That's a nice glove right there.
It's worn in pretty good. See, I watched it all the way in. No?
Okay.
One ball, no strikes to Hosmer, who singled home the first run for the Padres. Outside, it's 2-0. Fastball, and it's 2-1.
Wow.
I'm surprised he took that pitch.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. How do they take them, John? I don't know. Help me. I can't understand it.
I don't know. I might have swung at that one. Might not have done much with it, but probably would have swung.
There's a slider on the inner half, and it's 2-2.
That's why.
See, now I got that pitch to deal with.
I don't know, maybe the numbers say if he gets behind the count to a left-hand power hitter, he's going to throw a slider or a breaking ball.
Maybe his 2-0 fastball down the middle average isn't good.
That one just missed. It's now 3-2. Hunter Renfroe is on deck. Swing and a miss. Kept on throwing on the breaking pitch. That was the curveball. It's 4 strikeouts for Pivetta. Yeah, there are 2 outs. Friday, August 17th, after the Phillies take on the Mets. A reminder, that's a 6:05 first pitch. It'll be ACM award-winning band Old Dominion that'll be performing after the game. Enhance your experience by purchasing a field pass to enjoy the show up close from the infield. Go to Phillies.com/Old Dominion for more information.
With my t-shirt on and a half-drunk smile.
Those guys are right on my iPhone.
That one's past the diving Franco as Wahe's on his way home. And Hoskins' throw will not be made. So an RBI for Renfroe. That's his second hit of the day, and it's now 4-1.
It's amazing. Strike out 2 to 3-4 hitters. And you get one hooked through the infield. Similar thing in the first inning. Ready to get out of the inning and just couldn't get the third out after an 0-2 count.
Freddie was one of those guys that was problematic with it.
Didn't Freddie have 0-2?
Freddie with 2 strikes on. Yeah, I think it was 0-2. The outside quarter, 1-1. One and two. Freddie was asked the other day, with Chase coming back tomorrow, he was asked about his relationship with Chase Utley, because of course he was one of the double play partners that Chase had here in Philadelphia. And he asked what he remembered about him, what stood out the most. And he said, well, he was a great teammate. He said, but, and this is what a lot of people say, he said he's never met anybody that worked as hard as Chase to prepare for a ball game. He said, and that in itself kind of rubbed off on a lot of the younger players as the transition was being made. Freddie's down looking with a fastball in the outer half. But the Padres do add another run on an RBI single by Hunter Renfroe. Phillies down by 3, 4-1. We're on to the bottom of the third here at Philadelphia. $3 million Pennsylvania club. Players must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly and buy Nissan. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Beautiful shot from behind home plate at the yard here at the ballpark. See, the sun is shining. Thankfully, the sun is out. Hopefully, it stays out for the rest of this game and then even the second game. Odubel leads it off. He grounded out his first time up. Braves of the Nationals will be delayed today to start their ball game. Fultonevich against Max Scherzer with the rain in the D.C. area. On the inside corner, 1-2. And that one's pulled into right field, a base hit. Odubel will hold up at first with a leadoff single. Well, he's a leadoff batter aboard for the first time today.
Now let's make them pay for it. How was that? That was an interesting at bat. I mean, he took 3 pitches with no design to swing, and he gets 1-2, and then he decided, all right, now it's time, and he hits a bullet to right field. It's amazing. Timing him. That's all I can come up with, Michael.
Breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
Don't ask me to figure it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Tell you one thing, a lot of us we talk about it, but Odubel's a smart hitter. I think he has a plan when he goes up there. Sometimes it looks a little funky, but
it's his plan.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you just have to trust in it to be, you know, that it's going to work more often than not. One ball and 1 strike to Santana, who walked for the 75th time his last time up.
Tell you, Friday he chopped that RBI single up the middle, that ground ball off that left-handed pitcher. That was an impressive at bat. Remember that? Odubel wants to swing down on the ball. He has a beautiful level swing through the ball. He creates a lot of RBIs and hits that way by putting the ball on the ground.
That one's foul.
You do that against tough left-handers too. That's what I think's good about his approach. He's hitting third for one of the best teams in baseball.
Up high, 2-2.
This is another smart hitter too, right here. Well, anyone kid you? He knows what he's doing up there. He does have a big, a big swing, no doubt about it. It's a big swing, but I tell you, he gets a piece of that ball. He gets a piece of the ball with 2 strikes, and he lays off the tough pitches.
That's why it's surprising sometimes, Michael, when he strikes out looking. He did it a couple times on the road trip, and it was surprising. Hedges, by the way, has thrown out 3 of the 23 base runners who have tried to steal against him. If you're wondering about whether Odubel will be off and running. Inside, ball 4, and he walks for the 2nd time today. That's 3 walks issued by Ross. And Nick Williams is due up.
Nice to see Nick get a slider and hit it in that right center field gap.
Ground ball right side as Wahey has it. Flips to Freddie, who's a little high off the bag, but he held on according to Jeff Kellogg. 4-6 on the putout. And a fielder's choice, and Franco's coming up with runners on for the second time. Well, Freddie Galvis has always been one of the best defensive shortstops in the game of baseball.
Yeah, this is a great play by Freddie right now, knowing that the second baseman's in trouble, expecting a possible bad throw, which he did, and keeping his toe on the bag.
But just in case.
And tagging the runner. No chance to turn a double play right there.
You don't get a double play for that?
It's our GMC precision play of the game. Franco takes inside.
Productive at bat by Williams. I mean, you know, he obviously don't make an out, but he pulled the ball to the right side, got the runner to third base with one out.
I think this is where McKell has to think the other way. He's coming inside here, but Ross hadn't been able to throw that pitch into righties. No.
Fly ball short right. Wahey is back on it, and he'll make the catch. Odubel had no choice but to just hang around the third base bag. 2 outs. It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at RBIGame.com. Rated E for everyone.
Well, that's an AB Michael would like to have back right there. You don't like to leave that man on third with one out.
Oh, and here's where Odubel has to be ready to go, because with Pivetta coming up next, you have to think, and he struck out Kingery on sliders, you have to think, well, if you're Odubel, you got to think he's going to bounce one. If it gets anywhere past Hedges, you got to take a shot. Hardest place in baseball to hit, in front of the pitcher, especially with a base open.
Phillies have Ramos warming up in the bullpen. Oh boy.
Like we missed one there. Sure the dugout's letting him know, because they have a good vantage point to watch that ball cross the plate.
There's Adebayo. Odubel led off the inning with a single to right field. Williams reached on a fielder's choice, so runners on first and third. Phillies are 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position so far. A little tapper, and it remains 1-2.
Put that ball in play, anything can happen.
I think whatever spun up off that foul ball got into the eye of Austin Hedges. Two is grounded foul past the third base bag. Kingry's hit in 5 straight. He has been one of the more productive hitters during the month of July. Maikel Franco is the Phillies' leading hitter in July, then Nick Williams. But Kingry's at 279, which is by far his best month so far. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts for Ross. So the Phillies have left 6 now through the first 3 innings. We'll move to the top of the 4th. It's 4-1 in favor of the Padres. One click, you'll have your chair assembled and delivered right to your desk. And that's free of charge. Visit WBMason.com to order yours today. While supplies last, nobody does it better than who? But WB Mason. Not sure who the home plate umpire is waiting for, but we're ready to go. Here's Villanueva. Struck out his first time up, 1 of 5 strikeouts for Pavetta. And he drops a curveball in, and it's 0-1. Another curveball. That is popped way up there. Knapp's ready for it. 1 out.
Got away with one right there, Johnny.
Yes, he did. Ball had some elevation to it.
Sometimes the hardest pitch to hit is these ones that you just recognize right away as you just go at it too hard. You know, those 2 pitches right there.
Yeah, he knows it too.
Whew.
Hedges flat out to right his first time up. That one's back in front of us.
You got that one.
Michael would have had it.
Yep.
It's actually coming right at me.
They're all yours.
But
a little short of our booth, but it was in perfect line with our booth. That's a nice play by Maikel Franco. And there are 2 outs here in the 4th.
Seems like every even inning, Nick seems to have a quick one.
Well, it's that old bottom of the order.
yep, Michael knows he's got plenty of time. Boy, he's got a good arm from down on the side like that.
He sure does.
Then he fires it out to the ball girl down the left field line. He gives it to someone in the stands. That'd have been fun to do, man. I wish I could have done that.
Would you guys get fined if you did that?
Oh, sure.
Why do you think Tyson Ross wears an arm sleeve to hit on his right arm?
I don't know. Unless he's trying to keep his arm warm. It's pretty warm out.
Muggy.
I guess as a pitcher now with the other pitcher and 2 outs, don't you just try to throw it right down the middle?
Yeah, you'd think.
I mean, if you're trying to hit the glove, he's got the glove on the outside corner, right? I just put that big old glove right in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, see, here you go.
I wouldn't even put a sign down. I just go, come on.
Well, I believe I'd throw another one right there.
Absolutely. Got him. Foul tip. 6 strikeouts for Pivetta. And the Padres go down in order here in the 4th inning. Nothing across. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Phillies down 4-1. WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for fast, free delivery? Nobody does it better. Well, with Mike Schmidt, John Kruk, and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy here in Philadelphia. It's game 1 of 2, day-night doubleheader scheduled for 6 o'clock tonight. That's game number 2. On a humid afternoon, Nick Pivetta will lead it off here in the 4th. Pivetta struck out his first time up. Yeah, the first pitch in there, it's 0-1. All right, so offensively, the Phillies have left 6 through the first 3. They're 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. Ross is giving them opportunities. They just haven't been able to capitalize.
Got to get that one big one.
Lost his bat. That might have been an extra base hit. 5 strikeouts for Ross.
John, did you ever throw your bat at a ball, or you get fooled and throw your bat?
I've gotten fooled and dropped it, but I don't think I ever threw. I don't think on a full swing. I don't think.
Guys do it. One of the great hitters we had was Jay Johnstone back when I played, and he got hits throwing his bat at the ball. A lot. Anyway.
That's hand-eye coordination to be able to do that. You're making it a different event. Knapp singled his first time up. And he lines that one to right field. And Renfroe will make the catch for the second out. Join us for a special pregame ceremony as we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the 08 World Series Championship with members of the team, including Brad Lidge, Jimmy Rollins, Ryan Howard, and more. Toyota Phillies Alumni Day on Sunday, August 5th versus the Marlins. 1:35, and all fans receive the Brad Lidge Bobble figurine.
Have you ever met a finer man in baseball than Brad Lidge?
It'd be hard to find one.
Tough.
Cesar shows bunt, 1-1. Does his radio show every day from his basement out in Colorado on MLB radio. 2 hours a day. I said, how was it, or how is it? He goes, it's good when there's something going on. He goes, sometimes in the winter there's not a whole lot going on. That's pretty hard. It's nice that he's keeping busy.
Is it a call-in show?
You can take phone calls. You should
Plus
call
guests.
in. Yeah, you should call in. Up the first base line. That's a fair ball. And it rolls foul.
Those are nuances of your home ballpark, knowing that that ball was going to roll foul.
Cesar was hoping it was going to roll foul.
Where were we at? Was it Atlanta, Tom, where I was watching their pitchers bunting, and every ball they bunted down the third base line ended up going right back into the infield.
Yeah, it was in Atlanta. Cesar floats it foul over the tarp.
Yeah, in the old days, one of the things we were taught was third baseman, of course, was to go out and take a ball when you get in the batting cage and roll one down the third base line. You know, you can tell the home grounds crew might put a little tier on the outside, on the foul side of the third base line to keep the balls in play.
Suaje throws out Cesar, and the Phillies offense down in order for the first time this afternoon. We've completed our first 4 innings in game 1 of the State Night doubleheader with the Padres up 4-1. August 14th versus Mookie Betts and the Red Sox. Head over to Phillies.com/authentic-fan to grab your tickets, a free hat, and much more. Jankowski leads it off as we go to the 5th inning. It's 0-1. Jankowski's flied out to left. He's grounded out. Jankowski grew up in Lancaster, went to Stony Brook for college, grew up a Yankee fan despite being closer to Philadelphia, but said that his father would always take them to the games at Citizens Bank Park while he was growing up. So the only reason he was a Yankee fan was because his dad grew up a Yankee fan, grew up in the New York area. Last year when he first appeared at Citizens Bank Park, I think it was last year, may have been the year before, he had about 80 tickets that he had to give out to friends and family. This series, just his mom and dad.
Those tickets aren't as easy to come by anymore by the players, right?
No.
As I understand it.
No, you have to pay for a few of them. A 1 pitch to Iswahe, who has 2 doubles today. Shoots it the opposite way. 1-2.
You got to finish this guy off right here.
Yes, sir.
You wouldn't think that Will Myers would look as bad as he's looked his first 2 at bats the whole game, will you?
Well, he did
There you
finish
go,
it
John.
off.
There you go.
Strikeout number 7 for Pivetta. With 2 outs, Will Myers coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, you know, it seems like going into each season over the last couple of years, the San Diego Padres were one of those teams that people were talking about that they said, you know, this is a year that they might get over the hump, start to be in contention. It hasn't happened for this team yet, but I do think if you take a look at what they have in their minor league system, that they are getting a little bit closer. In fact, with the trade of Brad Hand, they now have 10 of the top 100 prospects in all of baseball in their farm system right now. They got Francisco Mejia in that trade for Hand. AJ Preller said that he believes that he is just 1 step away from the big leagues, very close, knocking on the door. He's a switch hitting catcher, terrific player. They also have Fernando Tatis Jr. in their farm system. He is the 3rd overall prospect in all of baseball. Now, he has a hand injury right now. He may be done for the season, but they have a lot of young talent, and you know, they've been able to spend a little bit of money as well, so it wouldn't surprise if the San Diego Padres, you know, sooner rather than later start to creep up and become a contender out there in the West, guys.
Yeah, Tatis was the guy that they were hoping they would be able to see very soon. That thumb injury, though, has become problematic. Swing and a miss. Myers strikes out. 8 strikeouts for Pivetta, who's found a little bit of a groove since the 3rd inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Padres. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Bank.com. Yesterday, Lehigh Valley defeated Toledo 7-1. Adron Chambers had 3 doubles. In fact, there were a ton of doubles in that game for Lehigh Valley. Adonis Medina was dominant. 12 strikeouts for the Threshers over 7 innings. Medina and Sanchez, if Sixto can get healthy, that is one heck of a 1-2 punch for the Phillies. Medina did a lot of that yesterday. according to Steve Potter, who gives us a lot of information about the minor leagues, without throwing a lot of fastballs, or less fastballs than you would think.
Shows polish for a young
Yes.
pitcher in the minor leagues that can command a breaking ball.
Out toward right center field. That's well hit again. Going back is Renfroe. He jumps and it pops out of his glove. Hoskins to second base, and he is there just ahead of the throw. That's a double.
Freddie Galvis and he having a little bit of fun down there as he arrived at second base. So we had a chance here, John.
Yeah, I thought I had a chance to go out, and then, honest to goodness, Renfroe, I think, should have caught him.
Yes, he should have.
Yes.
I mean, did he need to jump?
I'll tell you what, I think he needs to get back there fast.
Yeah, if he got back to the wall. That's why you always slide, folks.
Yeah, reset. I don't think he thought there was going to be a play at all. 22 doubles now for Reese. And here's Odubel, who is 1 for 2.
And put that rally together.
Slider that spun foul behind home plate.
You ever try to hit with sunglasses on?
Nope.
I never either.
Of course, they never had the ones that like they have now when we played. Or at least I don't remember it.
Yeah, those Oakleys came in right at the end of my career.
Oh, man. That's a four-seam fastball. That's going to smart.
Tell you what, sometimes you can sense things just watching a game. I'll tell you what, he reared back and fired that ball, and it looked like he had any intention of throwing that ball anywhere but at the hitter.
Hit the
I
back
just
of
don't
his
know
back leg.
why I feel that.
Take a listen to this.
See that? I mean, that's a long way for a guy to miss home plate that's never missed anywhere right around home plate
Yeah, the whole
entire
day.
game.
That's a good point.
Now, Duval get your dander up a little bit, by taking a lot of time and sort of hitting, hitting at his speed and just the antics, but it's just Odubel being Odubel, but it can, you would say, well, why would you do that with a 4-1 lead? Or
well, that would be my thought.
Probably wouldn't, but just,
yeah.
I find it hard for a guy to miss the area of home plate that far.
When he's been right around the plate the whole day, yeah.
Yeah, if Odubel takes a little step forward, it's behind him.
Well, now you've got Santana, who has walked twice today. There have been 3 walks issued by Ross.
And this is where you kind of don't like the rule change with the slides into second, because this is like where you get a big lead, a big secondary lead, because Hosmer's playing way back.
That one's pulled to the right side as Wahe. He took an extra beat. Santana beats the throw. 4-6 on the putout.
John, that ball was hit a little too hard for what you were mentioned to have been happening, but I know what you're saying.
Never would have got there. As a hitter, though, that's kind of your only choice of retaliation is
Well, you got a lot of stuff on your mind after you've been drilled.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad thoughts going through your head.
Well, Dubel's taking a look and see where the ball hit and what mark is left there. All right, now Nick Williams, who has walked and is hit into a fielder's choice. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. So he's 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position today. Be nice to end that right here. That one's back toward the middle, off the glove of Ross. How about this? There's one, and they won't turn the double play. A run scores. And it's a 4-2 ball game.
Not sure if that ball would have got up the middle.
Think Freddie might have gotten to it?
No, not Freddie. Well, I don't know. Yeah. However, we'll get a good look on the replay here.
Oh, yeah.
Most likely, but beating it out at first base gets us a run. We're still live in the inning.
Well, they've made it a 4-2 game now. Here's Franco, who is 0 for 2. Pretty nice view from above right field. Keeping an eye on Williams so he doesn't get into to scoring position. Nick has only stolen 2 bags this year. Pulled toward third, backhanded stab by Villanueva, and a long throw across the diamond picked by Hosmer, and the inning is over. That was a fantastic play all the way around. The Phillies do get a run after the leadoff double. It's a 4-2 game as we go to the 6th inning. Aaron Nola. Patience at the plate has shown its rewards while the bats have thrived at times, delivering key hits on their way to a first half 53 wins. Gabe Kapler's first season has been bold and successful, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the Phillies trail at 4-2 as we go to the top of the 6th inning, hanging on to first place in the National League East by a half game. As Hosmer will lead it off against Pivetta, who begins the 6th inning. And a first pitch fastball is in there. It's 0-1. Hosmer so far today is 1 for 2. He had the RBI single his first time up. Outside, 2-1. Nick has retired 7 straight. He has struck out 8 so far in the ball game. It's 2-2.
Pretty good rip at that ball.
Wasn't letting that one go by. Like to see a nice quick inning here, so I don't think Gabe wants to have to double switch. With only a 4-person bench, man, that handcuffs you if you have to double switch in the 6th.
Three balls and 2 strikes. Back in front of us again.
Ooh. Darn that ball, I'll tell you, it's right down in front of us, folks. And I
hit off the gentleman's hand that's listening to Scott and Larry.
I was just going to say, when you want to give it back to that gentleman after he risked his fingers on his left hand, of course, I think it's someone in his family.
Yeah. That one's fouled toward the upper deck. Oh, nice
what
play.
a grab up there.
Yeah, you should be happy.
Wow. It was a nice play. Fans are ready right now.
And that one is smoked through the middle, a base hit. Odubel will get to it, and Hosmer will put the brakes on after rounding first. So he's 2 for 3. So the leadoff hitter is aboard, and now Renfroe. Toyota Phillies Wall of Fame night honoring the late Roy Halladay and Pat Gillick will take place Saturday, August 4th versus the Miami Marlins. 7:05 is the scheduled first pitch, a special pregame ceremony. Go to Phillies.com to order your tickets right now. Check swing, foul ball, and it's 0-1. Ramos is back up and throwing in the pen for the Phils. Got to keep this at a 2-run game. There's Ramos.
A little bit of an indifferent swing at that ball. Kind of like,
should I? Yes.
how do you like that high fastball, John, with 0-2 counts? Just put the glove way up high and just let him throw a ball.
But you know what? We've seen how many times guys swing through it.
Well, I guess if you think that's a possibility, but a lot of times you see him fire it up high out of the strike zone.
Yes, some pitchers I talk to say it's a non-competitive pitch. It's a ball as soon as it leaves the hand.
That was kind of my point.
I'd love to say I never swung at it, but I'd be lying to you if I did.
Sometimes guys are just overly aggressive and they're swinging as soon as it leaves the hand. Swing and a miss. He got him with a curveball. 9 strikeouts for Nick. Well, our turning point is back in the first inning with Hosmer and Galvis, the combination.
Yeah, it's a high fastball by Nick, and Hosmer gets on top of it, drives it to left field, and then Freddie with a breaking ball on an 0-2 count. Slaps it up the middle, 2 runs scored. A very close play though at home, but Renfroe got in under that tag, and that's how the Harry Pods have taken his 4-run lead, or 2-run lead now.
Swing and a miss by Galvis. It's the first time this year that Galvis has had back-to-back games where he's had multi-RBIs.
Well, there is a safety when you play your former team.
Yes.
Unless you're just a real jerk, which Freddie wasn't. You know, more than likely there's not going to be much thrown in off the plate. So you feel pretty comfortable up there hitting when you're facing friends. You never had that opportunity, did you?
Oh, yeah. I can't say that I haven't. And I thought I was always kind of looking for a little good vibe in my career from an opposing pitcher. You can sense it.
Curveball, and it's 2-2.
It's that one he hit up the middle right there. Freddie's got 37, was it? 37 RBIs.
Yep, 4 home runs, 37 RBIs.
On schedule for maybe around 60, 65. It's a great year for a great fielding shortstop.
That one's off the hands, looped out toward right center field. That's going to drop for a hit. Hosmer's on his way to third. And it'll be first and third with 1 out.
I don't know if we played that ball real well out there. I think Odubel got a good read on that ball off the bat, because Hosmer had to kind of, you know, slow up and make sure that he knew that ball was going to drop before he takes off. Right here, Hosmer's kind of hesitating, and I guess Odubel didn't close on that ball fast enough because we let Hosmer get to third.
Well, that's going to be it for Nick Pivetta. So he's done after 5 1/3. He surrenders 8 hits and so far 4 runs. Ramos is coming in as the Phils look to keep the Padres off the board here in the top of the 6th inning. We'll be back after this pitching change in a moment. Month of June, or since the 30th of June, 58 1/3 innings, an ERA of 2.16. The opposition hitting just 197 against them. And that bullpen's going to be pressured in here, just as they were Friday night. Villanueva is up with runners on first and third here in the 6th. Friday night, 5 2/3 scoreless for the Phillies bullpen. A slider that stays high, and it's 1-0 to Villanueva.
Away with one there, boy. That was.
Yeah, the inner half of the plate.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a 7th hitter in the lineup, but he's their top RBI guy. So it's, it's not like I can make a mistake and have a chance of getting him out. This guy's done a pretty good job.
Oh man, Carlos Santana just saved Ramos. Ramos has had some issues throwing over to first base.
And after seeing that, like if you weren't an RBI guy like Villanueva is, wouldn't you think about safety squeezing?
2-1.
Where do you think he's going to throw it if he gets it?
That underhand throw to home is a little easier.
No, but that hole.
Yeah, but Hosmer don't have to run until he
That's true.
throws it.
That hole where second base used to be is pretty big.
Oh.
Popped him up. Shallow center. Cesar is out. He's under it. Oh, he missed it. It hit him right in the arm, and it's going to roll towards shortstop. Hosmer will score, and it's 5-2.
Okay. I guess ball in sun, huh?
I guess so. I mean, Odubel was coming from behind, but
Odubel has glasses, but it does not look like Cesar has glasses.
Yeah,
Oh,
hit him right in
geez,
the
it
upper
almost hit
arm.
him in the face.
Yep.
What, he's really lucky.
Very lucky.
Well, that may tell you he lost the ball totally. Look at this. He had to lose that ball totally, and he still doesn't see it. Wow. Well, anyway, Villanueva gets credited, I guess. Do they credit that a
E4, no
Eagle
RBI.
RBI?
No RBI. Because Hosmer was going back to second, or back to third. All right, so now Hedges with runners on first and second. He takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. 5-2 San Diego.
Tell you one thing you notice too when you watch that replay in slow motion, Cesar wasn't saying anything. I mean, that's where you got to say, you know,
I can't see it.
yeah.
Two and two. A slider up. He's had a lot of sliders up in this inning.
Yeah, it's just a shame though. You make that play out there, he's 1 pitch away from keeping it a 4-2 game. He's come in and done what he's supposed to do.
Three and two.
Wasn't a ball lost in the sun way back when I played anyway? Credit a hit.
I think it depends on the score. I do think that
Score would go ask after the game.
I do think that sometimes it is still, because of the elements, issued as an error. or a hit, depending on the score. Fly ball left field. It's not deep, and Hoskins is there. And he makes the catch for the second out. And the Padres look like they're going to set a pinch hitter up.
Check out the size of this man, Michael.
Number 32, Franmil Reyes.
So Franmil Reyes will be the pinch hitter. Two for 6 so far.
Is this one of those you want to get Ross out to make him feel good about his man? It looked like things were going pretty smooth for him.
Yeah, because their bullpen, I mean, even though the numbers are good, they've lost 2 big pieces to their bullpen in the trade with Cleveland. I would think that's what it is, though, John.
I don't think I've ever seen an all-star closer and one of your best setup guys traded for one minor league prospect.
Yeah, they think the world of Mejia. In fact, A.J. Preller said you can never have too many guys up the middle. You can never have too much catching. He said we looked at the value of the trade more than anything else and the player we were getting. Slider inside 2-1. I guess that was basically saying, well, we'll worry about where he'll play when he gets up to the big leagues. There's A.J. Preller, the executive VP and general manager of the Padres.
84 pitches, 54 strikes, and 4, 5, 4.
Uh-oh.
Knapp is pointed to the back of Ramos's leg.
Yeah, I think might have tweaked a hammy there.
Santana calls out Gabe Kapler, who was already on his way out anyway. Sean Ficazzi's there as well. So Carlos is doing some interpreting. Yeah, he tried to bend and sort of stretch out whatever it was.
No,
he's really lipping. All right, well, that's going to be it for him. They had Austin Davis warming up in the bullpen, but they don't have to choose him. Boy, that limp is becoming more pronounced after throwing a few pitches. There has been no signal to the pen.
I think he's got to go back and decide who they
Yeah,
want to bring
Gabe's
in.
going to talk to Cranny. And then Rob Thompson. Yeah, now they've decided that it looks like it's going to be Austin Davis. All right, so we've got a pitching change because of an injury. We'll get you updated when we come back. is into the game playing third base. And Austin Davis will be the new pitcher for the Phils. With the count 2 balls and 1 strike and 2 outs. Here in the top of the 6th inning, a run is in on a peculiar play on a pop-up that hit off the chest of Cesar Hernandez. There's Davis's numbers. He's pitched well for the Phils.
And he was warming up, so it shouldn't take him as long.
Right.
Unless you bring someone in cold.
Well, this gives us a chance to remind everybody that after Wednesday's game against the Dodgers, it's Nemours Kids Run the Bases here at the ballpark. It's immediately following the game for children 14 and under. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. Well, Davis is ready to go, and the count is 2-1 to Reyes. Galvis is at second base, and Villanueva is at first. Padres also have a left-hander warming up in their bullpen. They'll have to go to that lefty to begin the bottom of the 6th inning. Change up outside. It's 3-1.
That's why it's surprising with the doubleheader. I know they had the All-Star break, played one game, and then had yesterday the rain out. But I mean, wouldn't you think they would try to get another inning out of Ross?
I would, yes.
Unless they think this guy can break it open.
There's ball 4. And so bases are loaded. That walk is charged to a Dubry Ramos.
Like a little pitch around there, didn't it? Even though it loads the bases.
It's a good point because they got the lefty up now. Nick Pivetta started this inning. He went 5 1/3, allowed 8 hits. Jankowski takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Not fared well against lefties, has he?
Up and away, 1-1. Yeah, maybe that was the thought. Little dribbler foul, and it's 1-2.
Big batter right here in this game. This out, we're just one little rally away from tying it up. Big out right here.
Pulled fair inside the first base bag down the right field line. 1 run is in. Villanueva will score, and they will put the stop sign up against Reyes. They throw behind Jankowski, and he is out at second base. But the Padres scored 2 more runs. They scored 3 in the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Padres have added to their lead at 7-2. who threw 5 innings today, was able to hold the Phils to 2 runs and 5 strikeouts. This guy's been roughed up in the month of July, but he's had back-to-back outings where he's only allowed the 2 runs.
Yeah, well, the thing coming in with this game with Tyson Ross was people were laying off the slider, and you saw a lot of those outs were made on that slider. We couldn't lay off of it enough. That's how he got through his 5 innings of work.
Well, here's Matt Strahm, who's 2-2 with a 2.34 earned run average. They'll face Scott Kingery to lead it off. It'll be Kingery, then Plouffe, who came on as part of the double switch. First pitch outside. Ball and 1 strike. That one's pulled down the left field line, foul. And the count is 1-2 to Kingery. Bullpen for the Padres has an ERA of 3.69. That's 6th best in the National League. We mentioned they got rid of 2 of their pitchers, traded both to Cleveland, including Brad Hand, their closer. Kirby Yates is most likely going to be their closer most of the time, as Kingery strikes out for the 3rd time today. 1 out. Here's Plouffe.
Got to get something going.
Yeah, it's been kind of sluggish, even though they've had base runners.
Yeah, we probably 1 hit away from this being a really, really tight game.
Plouffe takes a strike, 0-1. Inside. One ball, 1 strike to Plouffe. Plouffe is 2 for 5 so far. Strahm has a very good whip for a reliever. His whip is under 1, which means he's not allowing a whole lot of base runners. Up and in, 2-2. Two and 2.
Trying to get something going.
Yeah, somebody is. Strahm pitched 3 innings his last time out. It's the longest appearance he's had. Out to center field, and Jankowski will venture back. Yeah, there are 2 outs. Nap's coming up. Phillies baseball is brought to you by your local Ford store. Check out every new Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Now with 2 outs, Knapp will bat right-handed. He is 1 for 2 today. breaking ball in there. It's 0-1. By the way, they're still in a delay down in Washington. The Braves and the Nationals. They were scheduled to begin at 1:30.
That storm moving this way?
It is coming up from the south.
Just about to check here, Johnny boy. It's going straight up. It doesn't look like it's. Nope, nothing coming our way. There's a lot of little green stuff down there, but.
Fastball, 2-1, just missed. He's asking the home plate umpire where it was.
I wonder if he got the answer he was looking for.
Just a bit in the square. Hampshire has improved as a hitter since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, he's made some really good adjustments.
A lot of hits, yeah. I notice he chokes up on the bat now about an inch. That can always help. He's become more aggressive early in the counts. Friday night, I got a first ball base hit over second. Earlier in today's game, hit the first ball.
Cesar's on deck. Check swing. Did he go? No. Says the first base umpire. And the Phils have a base runner for Cesar here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, he did. We watched that game last night with Javi Baez when he didn't check. I mean, he check swung. It wasn't. I didn't think it was close, but the home plate umpire called it, threw him out of the game, and Madden got thrown out.
It's probably always better to check if you're a home plate umpire, but I guess it sounded like he was pretty sure of it. Cesar takes a breaking ball that slips in.
Did he look like he really slowed up to throw that breaking ball?
Yes. I saw that. Just kind of like something you see. A lot of times you don't say it. That's one thing you can pick up a lot of times with pitchers. Just sometimes they wind up real slow when they're throwing a fastball. And the opposite would be kind of a brisk wind up and then a curveball. Sometimes they slow their bodies down when they're throwing an off-speed pitch.
Well, it's pulled right at Freddie Galvis. And he goes the short way to second base, and that wraps up the bottom of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, and one man left for the Phillies. We'll move to the 7th inning. The Phils trail the Padres 7-2. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. The Phillies fell behind in the first inning for the second straight game, but no big second inning for them. The Padres tacked on 3 in the 6th. All 3 are unearned. And we go to the 7th inning. And Austin Davis, the third pitcher used by the Phillies, will begin the 7th against Carlos Wahe. And a first pitch up and away, 1 ball, no strikes. Game 2, Vince Velasquez will get the start for the Phillies. Phillies will add a 26th man, as will the Padres. The Padres have already announced who that 26th man will be. It'll be Kaz Makita, a right-handed pitcher. Phillies will most likely add a pitcher. Mentioned they might even add Luis Garcia. He may be able to come back. He seems to be healthy after being on the disabled list for a while. And now with Ramos's apparent injury, it may not be a bad thing to have an extra arm. And a strike 3 called as Wahe is down looking for the first out here in the 7th. Will Myers is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, we know the Phils need to get some runs here. That goes without saying, but it doesn't mean that it's not a unique opportunity for guys like Gary and Ryan from the Northeast to get a chance to see 2 games in one day. You guys were going to come last night, right? But yet you got both games today, and you're in for the long haul, right?
Absolutely. Hopefully get a couple more runs here and get back into this game.
So the big question is, Ryan, what do you do between the games? Because there's going to be a little time. So do you guys have got some plans?
Probably just going to kill some time, maybe McFadden's or, across the street, we'll say, yeah.
Never a bad idea to go into one of those local establishments and waste some time. This is a first-place team right now, and, we're starting to see that reflected in the crowd. How excited are you guys to get an opportunity to watch some meaningful baseball as we head into the late part of the summer?
Absolutely. If we're being honest, I don't know if I'm making both games last year, but this year it's an exciting team. It's fun to watch, and it was a no-brainer to come down for both.
That's what I like to hear. What did you say to me, Gary, right before I sat down, or you asked me a question?
I had asked if Mike Schmidt was in the booth.
Why is that?
Mr. Schmidt idolized you growing up. I mean, I think 41 years old, I think everyone about my age idolized you. Definitely had the little hip shake every time I stepped into the bat, trying to mimic your stance.
Well,
but,
that's nice of you.
Thank you very much for what you do.
Well, my pleasure.
He's appreciative. Yeah, he is saying that. He's saying thank you. Well, guys, we hope you enjoy the game. Hopefully, we get a couple of runs late in this one, pull this one out, and win them both. Wouldn't that be fun?
It works for me.
Enjoy, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Back to the booth.
All right, Murph.
Hey, Murph. Thanks.
Little hip shake.
Yeah.
It drives the women crazy. And that with the
grandmothers.
Isn't that what the line from Major League?
Yes.
When Parkman went over to the Indians?
Yeah.
And then when he went back, different adjectives were used to describe it.
Strike, it's 2-2. Even had the little hip shake. Got him. Myers strikes out for the 3rd time. And here comes Hosmer. Hosmer is 2 for 3 today. He's 2 for 8 in the series so far. At a fastball, and it's 0-1.
Hosmer's been right in the middle of all these 2 rallies they've had, too. Starting them. First inning, the ball to left field. Got it going. 6th inning. Last inning, a single up the middle. Got him going.
Yeah, people wonder why the Padres would sign somebody like Eric Hosmer, but Murph did that report earlier about all the prospects they have that are in their top 100. I mean, they figure that when they're up, he's still here, and it gives them a plus defender over at first base and a guy that can drive in runs.
Well, and everything you heard about him with Kansas City, he can also mentor those young kids. They speak about his leadership, his desire to play the game the right way and having others. And
swing and a miss and a breaking ball. And Davis just struck out the side here in the 7th inning. It is time to stretch. Let's hope that it leads to a little offense for the Phils when we get back. Question: what team did Matt Stairs play the most major league games with during his career?
well, Oakland.
The Oakland A's is the correct answer. 632. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Nice to see Matt. Phillies hitting coach last year, our partner up here. Before that, the legend of the 08 team, hitting that home run in Los Angeles. Helped propel the Phils to the World Series. As Hoskins takes outside.
Yeah, I thought he was going to try to just shoot one the other way. That ain't Matt's style, is it?
No, it's not.
All right, let's go. We need some. Need some base runners.
Infielders all move further around toward the left field line. Would have been a pull pitch at bat pitch here.
On the inside corner, it's 2-1. First inning, Rhys Hoskins, our StatCast AI powered by AWS, gives us a look at his home run.
Well, I don't think those are great numbers for a home run, but
96.9.
it's a home run.
2-1 pitch. That one's fouled back to it, too.
You got to admit, when he swings a bat, it always looks like something's going to happen, doesn't it? A lot of foul balls in them. From the business point of the at bat with Reese. You know what I mean, John?
Yeah.
Got a lot of marks on that bat. I like to get him swing a little bit more down on the ball, man. Down to the ball is a better word. Better description of what I mean.
Just a bit low, 3-2.
Good take right there. Fouled off a couple of fastballs. Good take.
2-2 changeup. Really good take. Base hit, ball 4.
Over to third, and Villanueva's up with it. And a high throw pulls Hosmer off the bag, and Hoskins is aboard. That'll be the 12th error of the year for Villanueva, who Andy Green was just talking about the other day about his improved defense over at third.
Now that's, you know, it's a routine grounder, but this is why you hustle down the line. You know, just for this reason. Errant throw, if he's jogging down the line, Hosmer can catch and possibly come back and either tag you or tag the base.
Also why you put the ball in play. Something like that can happen.
All right, so Hoskins is aboard for the third time today. Here's Odubel, who is 1 for 2. Reached on a hit by pitch also. Fastball, and it's 0-1.
It was a good time for that bunt down the third base line.
I think that's the part of the game. I don't know if you guys agree that Odubel, if he's going to do it more consistently, has to work on it. He's not as efficient with it as Kingery or Cesar.
Cesar's really good at it.
Popped up. That'll be out of play, and it's 0-2. Fouled at the plate. Odubel hit by a pitch his last time up.
Hit himself in the thigh the first time up.
Yeah. He just tossed his sunglasses aside, and now the sun's popped back out again.
I guess you can't ask for him back, can you?
Well, I mean, you might be able to. I think Tim the Bat Boy has him.
Dubel's looking. Come on, let's go. What are you waiting on? It's usually the other way around.
Over to the right side. That'll sneak in the right field, a base hit. Hoskins will stop at second base. Phillies have 2 on with nobody out. And it brings Santana up. No bullpen action for the Padres.
That's what you love about being a left-handed hitter. Get out in front of one, roll it over for a base hit with someone on first base.
Well, you know, I agree with that.
Yeah, you roll one over, it's a 5-4-3 possibly.
1 strike. It was a changeup that was laid right in there. I think the fans thought it may have been high. I think Santana thought that too. Popped him up. Hosmer at first base, shading his eyes. Infield fly rule is called. And 1 out here in the 7th. And here comes Nick Williams, who will bat against the lefty. Altair is coming out to hit for the pitcher. Austin Davis's day is done. He allowed a couple of inherited runners to score. That ball hit Nick Williams. It sounded like it hit his
like
bat.
hit the knob, didn't it?
It did, but I guess it hit his arm. Because it sounded like the elbow pad. And the bases are now loaded.
I'm sure they're going to ask, he didn't even make an attempt to move. Did he reach out, though, with that elbow? He stick that elbow out a little bit.
That is interesting.
You very rarely see it called up in the big league level. You really don't see it called that often.
Well, I think Nick was going to take that pitch all the way, and then he just kind of moved a little bit to it. Not a lot, just enough to make you wonder.
All right, so now Altair will pitch it. With the bases loaded and 1 out.
He has hit a grand slam this year, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to get off of that schneid, so to speak, hitting in runners in scoring position. It hadn't been good today.
Get yourself a fastball right here and don't miss it, Aaron.
Phillies are 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. As you take a peek at the base runners, outfielders are deep. 1 ball and 1 strike. Craig Stammen, the veteran, is warming up in the bullpen for the Padres. Inside, 2-1. I mentioned 3 innings the last time out for Strom, which was a career high. This is only his 2nd inning of relief work, but he's throwing some pitches. He's walked 1, hit 1, allowed a single. Change up outside, 3-1. Got to challenge him, right? Bases loaded.
Yeah, you would think, but we've seen so many odd things happen in this just over half a baseball season that, Tom, you can't guess anything.
No, you really can't.
The only thing you can guess is he's hot and he's sweaty, the fanatic.
And he'll take credit for an RBI here. Ooh, boy, he did challenge him. 3-2. swing and a miss. He got him. Back-to-back fastballs. And there are 2 outs. Second strikeout for Strom. And Scott Kingery will be the hitter.
Nothing fancy about what Strom did once he got behind 3-1. 2 fastballs, 2 very hittable fastballs. He just threw them both by Aaron.
All right, Kingery is 0 for 3 today. He has struck out 3 times. Up now with the bases loaded. Phillies are now 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. To the right side in the air. Under it is Wahe. And he'll make the catch. The Phillies leave him loaded. They've left 11 runners on base in today's ball game. No runs, 1 hit. There was 1 error. Phillies leave him loaded. We'll leave for the 8th inning. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com and buy Jefferson Health. Call 800-JEFF now or visit jeffersonhealth.org. Phillies trail at 7-2. They haven't managed a whole lot offensively today. Time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. Now, Villanueva had an error in the last inning, but this is a really nice play.
Yeah, it is. Nice backhand on the ball. Watch it in his glove. Quick turnaround. Go to first and a great pick. John can relate to that Hosmer pick right there.
Yeah, he's one of the best I've seen at it. And that's our defensive play of the game. Brought to you by who, Michael?
Hyundai, your local Philadelphia Hyundai dealers. You need to get that thing in front of me quicker, Christine.
Here's Leiter, who is 0-1 this year with a 4.61 earned run average. And it's up high, 1-0. Hunter Renfroe is 2 for 3. Inside, 2-0. Two and one. Renfroe last year had 26 RBIs, or 26 home runs, I should say. It was tied for the third most for a rookie in Major League Baseball. Aaron Judge led the way with 52. That one is hit toward left field, and Reese is there on the track, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Every time a Phillies pitcher records a pitch of 95 miles per hour or more, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. All right, so Leiter gets the first out. And now it's Galvis. Galvis is 2 for 3 today. Big curve. You wonder if Tatis is back healthy by next year if the Padres do something with Galvis before the trade deadline. I mean, you think about some of the teams around baseball. I'm not sure if anybody needs a shortstop, but Freddie could help somebody during the stretch run. I mean, even just because of his defense. I know sometimes he's streaky as a hitter and gets a little long with his swing, but still doesn't walk a whole lot.
Yeah,
but man, he can play.
I guess you're going to find out when Correa gets back for Houston. I mean, who they got playing short.
There's a slow roller to third. Kloof throws him out.
Yeah, I would agree. He can play shortstop for a championship team. No question. He's a great kid.
Yeah. And a great leader, too.
If anybody would ever dream you'd hear a player say, what's your goal this year? And he says, to play every game.
Every game, yeah. Here's Villanueva, and he takes strike 1. Oh, and 2. Curveball lined into left field. That'll float in for a base hit. And Villanueva will be aboard of the 2-out single. His second hit of the series. And Austin Hedges coming up.
Yeah, that's one of those pitches, John. 0-2 curveball. Need to bounce that pitch. These major league hitters don't seem to duck very often on an 0-2 pitch.
No.
It's kind of just went down and got it. You know, you got to swing when anything's close 0-2.
Hedges is 0 for 3. 0-1. John, I didn't answer your question before. It's Marwin Gonzalez that's been playing shortstop for the Astros, who is a very good player.
Yes, he is.
He's just not Correa. But if you get somebody like Galvis, then you have Gonzalez floating around like he usually does.
Yeah. Play some first, play some left, play some wherever.
Is Correa out for a long time?
He has been. I forget what he had. Did he get a hit?
That one's out towards second base. Cesar is up with it, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Middle of the 8th inning. Phillies trail it by 5. 2008. This was an epic at bat. The place was just nuts at that point. It was a grand slam by Shane Victorino against CC Sabathia. I mean, I was down the left field line watching that ball go into the seats. It was so loud here at the ballpark. Well, the Flying Hawaiian will return to be honored pregame as he retires as a Philly as part of the Toyota Phillies Alumni Weekend. That'll be Friday, August 3rd, when the Marlins are here. And a Shane Victorino Big Head collectible print will be given out to all fans coming to the yard. Come on out and support Shane Victorino. The guy was a heck of a Philly. So many guys from that team that you think about just their contributions and what they meant. It was sort of the perfect storm for the Phillies. There's Corey Spangenberg playing third base, just added to the roster today from AAA, as Craig Stammen, the veteran right-hander, is out on the mound. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Stammen's been good for the Padres. Phillies have handled him during his career when he was with the Nationals mostly. As Plouffe, who flied out to center his first time up, is up for the second time. And it's 1-2 and a slider. Threw it again. 1 out. It's 8 strikeouts today for Padres pitching. Phillies struck out 8 times on Friday also, but they scored 11 runs.
Just haven't been able to get that big hit. Not like the opportunities haven't been there.
Ground ball softly to the right side. Knapp is retired. 2 outs. Cesar's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy with the Major League Notebook. Murph.
All right, thanks, Tom. Brought to you by the University of Maryland, University College. The New York Mets are dealing at the deadline, but they are selling, not buying, because of their serious summer struggles. They've sent Jeurys Familia to the Oakland A's for some prospects. The A's, who are suddenly in the wild card hunt, they are 3 games out of an American League wild card spot, so they are adding at the deadline, and they're sending 2 prospects New York's way. And the Matt Carpenter watch continues. He is the hottest hitter in Major League Baseball. The Cubs and Cardinals are playing in Chicago today. Get this, and he has hit a home run, has Matt Carpenter, in the last 6 games that he's played. He has 8 home runs in that time. He also has 12 extra base hits. His first at bat today, how about he laid down a bunt, got on base, and he scored the first run. It's 1-0 Cardinals right now in Chicago, guys. Back to you.
I did see that run go up, and I wondered if it was him hitting a home run, but as you said, Murph, it was a bunt single, and then he scored the run. Remember, we saw him earlier this year when we were in St. Louis, and he was ice cold. And then he came alive in that series, and I think he's really hit ever since. One ball and 2 strikes to Hernandez.
You had to think with his track record and his abilities that it was just a matter of time, but nothing like this.
No. And a strike 3 call. Cesar's down looking. A sinker 2-seamer on the inner half. A 9-pitch inning. Well, the Phillies didn't leave anybody. They didn't get anybody on. We'll go to the 9th. It's 7-2 San Diego. Standing by for Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies postgame live. They'll talk about the lack of offense today and a rough start for Nick Pivetta early on, but he settled in. He only went 5 1/3. And now it's Mark Leiter who's pitching in his second inning of relief. And a breaking ball to Spangenberg. Spangenberg was sent down to the minor leagues and in a very short period of time put together some pretty good numbers. He was added today just before the ball game. And part of that is because Manuel Margot is day to day. He was the young man who dove for the ball in center field the other day, bent his wrist back, and they've said that it's a sprained wrist, so he is not going on the DL as of now.
Very lucky.
And a line drive base hit the opposite way for Spangenberg. So he's aboard to lead off the 9th inning. Here is the diving attempt the other night by Margot.
Yeah, watch this in slow motion. It really looks bad, doesn't it? Where that wrist bends back. Well, it's better that way than the other way, but now it looks bad right at the end of the dive.
Yeah, it does.
And his reaction.
Kind of where I was glad I was slow. Didn't have to worry about diving for him.
Being able to play it on one hop.
Circle him, keep him at first. Keep the double play in order, Tom. That's the key to good outfield play.
Can never be the wrong thing, that's for sure.
Remember, game 2 is later on at 6 o'clock on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Vince Velasquez is scheduled to pitch for the Phillies. Luis Perdomo is on the mound for the Padres.
Perdomo's pretty good, isn't he?
Well, his numbers this year, not so much.
I mean, stuff-wise, he's got good stuff.
He's got good stuff. This year, though, his ERA 7.55. He's also spent some time in the minor leagues this year. And a right side ground ball, base hit. Spangenberg will head to third.
Good decision by Nick. Keep that double play in order. Right, John?
That's exactly right. But 7-2, we better cut the run off at home.
Yes, sir. Padres, after this ball game, will bus up to New York to take on the Mets. Phillies will welcome in the Dodgers, who lead the Brewers 5-2 in the second inning. That's after tonight's game. An off-speed pitch, and it's 0-1.
A challenging series for the Phillies, starting with the Dodgers.
Yes, sir. Fly ball left field. That should get the run home. Spangenberg runs well. Hoskins back, and he makes the catch. It'll be a sac fly. It's 8-2 in favor of the Padres. Boy, that ball really carried, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Well, check those flags out, Tommy. They have started to really kick up from right field to left field.
when it left the bat, you knew it was going to be deep enough to score.
Yeah.
Score the runner from third, but man, that thing just kept drifting on Reese. Notice how he's putting his hand out now.
Yeah, looking for the fence so he doesn't run into it again. That ball is smoked to left center field, and it is gone. Good. That is a long home run. That went on to the concourse.
On a line.
Just to the left of the 409 sign. That is a 2-run home run. I mean, it's an absolute bomb. And it is now 10-2 Padres. Estimated distance is 450 feet.
Let me reiterate, on a line.
On a line.
There you see it again. As everything's in check with that swing. Kind of knows he got it.
Wow.
Coming off of 3 straight Ks and hit one 450 feet.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't. There's very few that have gone out to that area like that. Oh, and 2.
Use them all up in this game.
Watch the reaction of the people on the concourse. Whoa.
Hey, you're hit at the base of Whitey's statue out there.
Swing and a miss, and Hosmer strikes out. 2 outs. I'll tell you though, I remember William Opeña may have hit one out there. Jason Worth may have hit one out there when he was with the Dodgers.
On a line though.
Yeah, nothing like that. You're right. I mean, William Opeña's was a shot. Remember, somebody hit one out toward Tony Luke's one time. I think that may have been 2 years ago. I don't remember who it was. But not on a line.
Not on a line.
That was kind of like, that was rising.
They've won. You got one up in the air right there. If he'd have got that ball up in the air right there, we've been talking records.
Yeah.
That might have hit Tony Luke's.
Yeah, there was one that bounced right into the people that were standing in front of Tony Luke's.
A little rude awakening, isn't it?
It sure was. Not bothering anybody. One ball and 2 strikes to Renfroe. And just a bit outside, 2-2. Over to third, past Plouffe and into left field. And Renfroe has his 3rd hit of the day. Well, that is now 14 hits for the Padres.
You can't get him to hit it at people, can we?
Cannot. Well, except for the people in the concourse.
It was loud.
Galvis fouls it back.
Padres struck out 14 times in this game, if my scorecard is correct. It's a lot of strikeouts, isn't it, for scoring 10 runs?
Ground ball foul, and it's 1-2. Well, they are tops in the league in strikeouts. With their 13 today, they have 957. Two and two. This has turned out to be one of those forgettable games for a baseball team.
Well, that's why we got a second one to
That's
play.
right. That one's hit sharply into center field by Galvis. Renfroe's going to go to third. Freddie will put the brakes on around first. And for Galvis, that's his 6th hit of the series.
Think he'll get the second game off?
I don't think so.
No. Go down there. We got 3 hours or 2 hours or so. We'll go down and talk to Andy Green. Maybe time Freddie looks a little weary.
Here's Cranny. He was out to the mound. This is Leiter's inning. I mean, there's nobody warming up for him in the background. He's allowed 3 runs in this inning.
We have a pinch hitter, Tom. Jose Perella.
And Perella will bat. Gabe is looking underneath. Somebody must be warming up in the cage, a position player. I would assume Jesmuel Valentin. Had a pitch low, 1-0.
Good luck with that post-game show, Michael.
We'll pop some numbers.
We'll just Tommy Green over there.
Yeah,
Tita.
Tommy Green.
Tita.
1 ball and 1 strike to Pirella, the 8th man to bat in this inning for the Padres. And he hits that one foul off Knapp, and it's 1-2. Renfroe leads off third. Galvis off first. 15 hits today for San Diego. Season high is 16.
Yeah, that's what kind of stinks, doesn't it?
What's that?
Well, the umpire just took a ball off his left hand, and normally the catcher will go out and talk to the pitcher to give him time, but you can't anymore. What happened to that courtesy?
I think you should still allow the courtesy.
Yeah. They come back in. He said, "That's another visit."
Well,
Come on, man. I'm helping you out.
You can tie your shoe or something.
Out to right center field. Odubel. He ventures into the alley and makes the catch as Williams sidesteps him. And the inning is finally over. 3-run score in the inning, including 2 on a long home run by Will Myers. 5 hits overall. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Phillies trail at 10-2. Philadelphia.
Yep, started it all with a 0-2 count, base hit up the middle, scored 2. And then, whoa! Will Myers goes straight away with a line drive, 440-some feet. Not much else to say here. We're kind of hoping that they wear themselves out in this first game of the doubleheader, and that was your WB Mason delivery of the game.
There's Will Myers.
Don't take that off the screen so fast.
Will Myers, who hit one out toward the concourse in left center field. Here's Hoskins to lead it off. He takes high. It's 1-0. Facing Colton Brewer in the 9th inning. Hoskins has been on base twice today with hits, and then the other time on an error. And a line drive caught by Spangenberg, who jumped high in the air to reel it in for out number 1. That may have been hit harder than his home run exit velocity was.
No question. No question.
Spangenberg enters the game late, gets a base hit, run scored, then he comes up with this one. It didn't take long to get there, did it, Michael?
No, it didn't. Nice leap, and then you got to stick the landing on the leap, and the best way to do that is spread your legs out. You know, it looks like you jumped a lot higher than you really did.
Is that the technique? Old 1-0 Double, who needs a little more of the Manimoto stick. This umpire is allowing it.
It's a floating rule, Tom.
It's definitely a floating rule.
Yeah, it's under every umpire's discretion on whether they allow it, or maybe that guy just didn't like Reese. I don't know. Were you here for that game when the bat slipped out of Reese's hand?
Yeah, and they wouldn't let him get punched.
Yeah.
Yes, I was. Gabe came out and had a little argument. I don't think we even seen anything close to a player manager umpire rhubarb this entire year, have we?
Well, last night was good. Joe Madden was pretty animated.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about our team.
No.
It's too bad. It's too bad about that. You know, those are interesting moments in games.
You know, your firm with teammate shortstop was very good at that.
His old head gets the bobbing.
Oh, called him the rooster, man. That head would get going.
Swing and a miss. So Double strikes out. 2 outs. And the Phillies down to their final out. They'll send Mitch Walding to the plate to bat for Carlos Santana. All right, September 8th, 2013. First of a 2-home run game for Evan Gattis. That was the ball that went into Tony Luke's. 480 feet is the estimated distance.
Come on, Mitch.
Yeah, get that first big league hit. 9 plate appearances. Outside, 1-1.
What's the first thing you'd tell Mitch if you had to suggest something to him as a hitter? Got to get those hands back, don't you?
Got to get the hands back.
See how his hands finish his take, or when he swings right next to the Phillies?
Yeah, get his hand back and maybe keep that front hip closed just a little longer.
Oh, it's his hands are right there, right, and they don't go back.
Swing and a miss, and he strikes out, and the ball game is over. Phillies go down 1-2-3 here in the 9th inning. Not a whole lot of offense today for the Phils, but an awful lot of offense for Freddie Galvis and the San Diego Padres. Galvis is our Chevrolet player of the game. He's now 6 for 9 with 4 RBIs in this series. He had 3 hits and 2 RBIs in today's ball game. 10-2 the final score. The Padres take game 1 of this day-night doubleheader. We'll be back to Philadelphia to wrap things up right after this.